Good morning. How y'all doing? How your mom and them? Yeah. Well, why is it so hard for people just to admit when they were wrong? I know this is the TTC, a trash talking circle, yada, yada, yada. But it comes a point where, you just say, well, hey, I was wrong about that. And, none of us are right all the time. Lord knows I've been wrong about a lot of stuff this season, especially in college. I thought Georgia would be a lot better than they are. I thought Alabama would be a lot worse than they are. Those I was wrong on those things. I even made a video, I think, where I said Alabama would have 5 losses this year. That's obviously not happening. I thought Georgia was going to win the East. That's obviously not happening. But why is it so hard for some of you to just admit, I got that one wrong? I got that one wrong, and Uncle Lou got it right. Why is it so hard to just admit that? I don't understand. Now, the Falcons are on a bye this week, and almost every Falcons video maker has made a video already this week where, they're giving their opinions on what they think is wrong with the Falcons. And it's all the same things that I've been saying since April. But I was an idiot who didn't know what I was talking about, and I don't know anything about football, and I just love Todd Gurley, and, all this stuff. Now, halfway through the season, the sun finally comes out for you guys, and you're able to see. And you're saying the same things Uncle Lou has been telling you since April. Same things. All these people with their diagnosis of what's wrong with the Falcons, what are they saying? No pass rush? Well, where have we heard that before? Vic Busley is a bust. Okay? He's not any good. He can't sack the quarterback. I don't care what excuses anybody wants to make about getting pressure and all this kind of crap. He was drafted for one reason: sack the quarterback. He's not delivering. He's a bust, okay? The Falcons are the worst team in the league when it comes to sacking the quarterback. Dead last, 32 out of 32. And you spent your number 8 overall pick on a guy whose sole job is to sack the quarterback. He's a bust. He's a bust, period. Number 2 excuse that we're hearing: can't finish drives, red zone offense. Well, let's see. What do you really need to finish a drive in the red zone? See, let me explain a little bit of football to you people. The closer you get to the goal line, the less room you have to operate. This affects your passing game, which is why you see a lot of teams running the ball in the red zone. The Falcons can't do that. Now, Devontae Freeman is having a hell of a year. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's having a great year. He came out of nowhere, surprised a lot of people the first 6 weeks of the year, and he's having a great year. But when the Falcons have to run the ball, they can't. When the other team knows the Falcons are going to run the ball, they can't. And when you get down in the red zone, goal line situations, inside the 20-15-yard line, and the area for the receivers to run around in shrinks, and you have to run the ball, the Falcons can't do it. And it's killing their drives. It's killing their red zone touchdown percentage, and it's cost them some games. And the reason they can't do that is because they don't have a big, powerful running back. Devontae Freeman's good. He's not a big, powerful running back. He's just not. These are things Uncle Lou has been telling you for 6 months, 7 months. Again, I didn't know what I was talking about, though. But now reality's setting in. One other thing I was right on here, and that's about Todd Gurley. If there is anybody left in the TTC with the ignorance to talk bad about Todd Gurley, then you either don't know football at all, or You hate Uncle Lou so much that you're allowing it to just completely blind you. Todd Gurley, listen to me, people. Listen. Todd Gurley is the best running back in the NFL. Again, just admit it. Just admit it and move on. Todd Gurley is the best running back in the NFL. Well, Uncle Lou, if he's the best running back in the NFL, how come Devontae Freeman has more yards? Well, simple. Todd Gurley didn't start till week 4. Yes, he played week 3, had 6 carries. Okay? Even including week 3, though, 6 carries, 9 yards. Todd Gurley, listen to this. Listen to this. Yards per game played. Yards per game played. Whether you started, whatever, doesn't matter. Yards per game played. Todd Gurley is 20 yards ahead of the number 2 guy. 20. He's the only running back in the NFL averaging over 100 yards per game. The next closest one is around 92. Todd Gurley's at around 115. You're talking about 15, 20, 25 yards distance between Todd Gurley and the number 2 running back in yards per game. Now, where does Todd Gurley rank in terms of total yards? Well, it's funny you should ask. I'll tell you. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, after he'd only played a couple of weeks, he was 60-something. After the following week, he was 30-something. 2 weeks ago, he was 15. Todd Gurley is currently ranked 5th in yards rushing in the NFL. Didn't start till week 4. Okay, let that sink in. On top of that, the Rams have already had their bye week. So the Rams don't have any more off weeks. So he's going to play every game of every week the rest of the season. Devontae Freeman is off this week. Todd Gurley is currently about 60-something yards behind Devontae Freeman. Now, you tell me after this week, who's going to be ahead, Gurley or Freeman? 60 yards difference. You tell me. So it's time for you guys to snap out of it. It's okay to hate Uncle Lou. That's fine. Believe me, it's a long line and you're welcome to get in it. But don't let it cloud your judgment to the point where you're making them some of the most ridiculous statements. There's a lot of people on here, who said Todd Gurley would be a bust. He's already the best running back in the NFL, ladies. I mean, I don't understand. And this is primarily Falcons video makers I'm talking to. There was a few typer trolls, I think, who had something to say about Todd Gurley, but primarily it's these people that claim to know football, love the Atlanta Falcons, and make videos, and they said Todd Gurley was going to be a bust. Falcons didn't need him, didn't want him. He's injury prone. He'll never last. He'll never do this. He'll never do that. He's the best running back in the NFL, period. And he will finish the season as the leading rusher in the NFL. And then what are you going to say? And he's definitely finishing ahead of Devontae Freeman. I'm talking to you, F4L. Falcons for Life is Uncle Lou's personal stub hub. Thank you, sir. See, me and Falcons for Life have a bet. This is how confident I was in Todd Gurley. Week 4 of the season. Todd Gurley's first start in the NFL. I made a bet with Falcons for Life that he would finish the season with more yards rushing than Devontae Freeman. Now, at that particular time, after week 4, Devontae Freeman was probably the best player in the NFL. Right? Remember, he had 7 or 8 touchdowns or whatever it was, and he was killing everybody else. He was number 1 in rushing in the league by a mile. It wasn't even close. That's how confident I was in Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley was ranked like 60 or 70 something in the league in rushing at the point where I made this bet with Falcons for Life. Bet being most rushing yards for the year. Winner gets a ticket to a home game next year. So if I win, he has to buy me a ticket to a Georgia game. If he wins, I have to buy him a ticket to a Falcons game. But is there anybody out there at this point who actually thinks Todd Gurley's not going to finish with more yards than Devontae Freeman? Like I said, the Falcons are off this week. He's only 60 yards behind Freeman and didn't start till week 4. He's going to pass Freeman this week, and he's not looking back. And it wouldn't surprise me at all for him to finish number 1 in the league in rushing at the end of the year. So I don't expect any apologies from you people, but you at least need to admit that Todd Gurley is the real deal, is the best running back in the NFL. You were wrong. I was right. The Falcons have no pass rush. They have no red zone offense because Vic Beasley was a terrible draft pick. Awful draft pick. Your number 2 draft pick never plays. Your number 3 draft pick never plays. You wasted your first 3 draft picks, which is what I've been telling you since April. Just admit it. Just move on, and good morning.